you're gonna see like they're gonna make it seem like, oh, like people are liberated overnight. And it's going to look so fake because the people are going to be dressed like, you know how they do the psyop here on our news, where people are just out and protesting and, free as a bird and all of that. It's going to look so fake because you don't go from just being covered up completely, being so conservative, to being just so free to say whatever it is that you want, like almost overnight. Like that will be fake. So it will try to get the people to say yes. This is why these people need to be liberated. Now they have freedom of speech. Now, especially something with women. Now women can be more vocal. They can work. It will be something like that, but it won't be real. It will be fake, in fact. And in fact, these people will truly just be working with Israel. So this is Israel's sick plan, where they cause this fake war, and then they'll put a fake leader and then put out in the media to give the illusion that he's somehow freed the people. And I'm getting specific to women, and it's all just fake. I'm not. It's probably B-roll footage, girl, that they took from another, another news, show or something. That is what it's given, but it will in fact be that king or leader will be working for Israel. Yeah. So, like a coup. Yes, exactly. Like a coup. Absolutely. Trump energy really does show up here, from one of my earlier automatic drawings. It really shows up here, and it brings almost back around this sort of thing you know, that we found out maybe 6 months ago or so. Like, how did his family get his wealth? Their wealth off of slavery, right? And off of, okay, I'm channeling this, off of the mutilation of the parts from slavery. See, they made their money off of the mutilation, much like what's happened in Epstein files. Well, that was already happened during slavery. That's why I say the Epstein files is, it's pretty much slavery. It's the same thing. That's why a lot of black people weren't surprised, because they've been eating people and hanging them and cooking them and feed them to alligators since way back when. But this is coming up now, and now, this is really going deeper into Trump's, lineage. It truly is a lineage of evil. Even though I feel that the real Trump actually does have a good heart. It's just not planted in good soil. His heart's not planted in good soil. But when you scale all of that back, if he was not born into this family, if he somehow would been able to be as free as he would want it to be, and to kind of call his own shots, his heart actually is a kind heart. It's just not rooted in good soil. But what source is saying is that his family, they made a lot of money during the slave trade, but off of the parts. And so I don't know if this will come to light, but this is what source is saying. This may also possibly come to light um, in the midterm with the Democrats. Someone may go digging and do a little family history. But I am telling you that I feel this so strong in this moment, that his family, yes, slavery was one thing, but where they made the bulk of their money was off of the parts. Off of the parts. And I'm talking, I'm seeing genitals, men genitals, limbs, all mismatched, different, woman, female, children, everyone just. They started this a long time ago. This thing we see happening now is given 1920s that this was happening. where they were taking the enslaved people, you know, within the Americas. I get a strong Mississippi. I get a strong Mississippi. That Tuskegee experiment as well. Something is popping up with that. Tuskegee experiment. This was in 1972, but the study of untreated syphilis in Negro males was a study conducted between 1932 and 1972. Okay, so I think this is kind of what I'm getting, this Tuskegee experiment. And it's interesting because I think Trump actually mentioned that, like in one of his speeches. But this is what's coming up for his family, that they were involved in this. And so we got the mail right, and we got kind of the dates right. And the United States Public Health Service and Centers of Disease Control Prevention on a group of nearly 400 African American men with syphilis as well as a control group. So, yeah, that's if you find out any more information on that, let me know. So, they started to experiment on like the enslaved people because this is what I'm getting. Obviously, slavery had ended by then, but there was still all those years of Jim Crow and all those years of sharecropping and all of that. These people were still, this was like, see, the chattel slavery was all about, literally just being born and dying into slavery. It wasn't like indentured servitude where it was like a choice to work and then you were kind of still enslaved in a way, but you agreed on the contract, to some regards. But this was really bad because yeah, like it's like some of those people, it's like the slavery was still going on even though it wasn't legal. But in experiments like this was still like, it's kind of the Epstein thing where they still have control of your body and autonomy over you. And essentially, they would just run these experiments and then they didn't care if you passed away because that was actually the next part of their business plan, which is now to take out certain organs and to study these things. See, these things that Trump's family has been involved with has made way for some of the technology with skin grafting or stem cells, skin grafting, the new advances in neuroscience. Like they needed these people in order for the modern medicine to be what it is today. There had to be a slave or a black male or woman or child that was killed, mutilated, stripped away from every right. This is still the long lasting effects of slavery. And your DNA remembers. Even if you can't consciously remember, it's within your DNA. And when you awaken to truths, and a lot of people will be awakening this year, these are the sorts of things that will be oozing out within your DNA. There will the true disclosure happens because we're coming online. The fake disclosure is to make you crazy so that you can't see and to put you back in that lower vibration and realm where they're dwelling. So they're hoping that they can lock away through mental anguish you in this dark space, this arachnophobia where creepy crawlies are everywhere, and then they can almost now see themselves and it will be a colony of them within the brain. So the true disclosure is as you awaken to these truths. And in fact, I have to keep saying this because this is the truth. America will never be a great nation until they pay for that sin, because it's energy. What happens at the end of each age, everything gets accounted for. Anything that we've all done. And I think that, I think that we've all kind of experienced that, the karmic mirror that was happening last year, as we were preparing for this new vibration, the karmic mirror. We had to really sit with a lot of the things that we did over our lifetime. And I truly believe that we were also, the reason why we were able to receive that is because humanity's telepathy is not just coming online, it is online. And I believe that we were feeling the heart and the telepathic impressions from the ones that, were involved in these situations with us. And in some regards that we've harmed, or maybe that they've harmed us, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly. And so the true disclosure will happen. We will get a remembrance because it's a purge out from the old energy. But the problem with not making this stain, this period of time that actually created a template for, the Epstein thing. Where do you think the Epstein, got the idea for all this stuff? That's where it was practiced first. And yes, there's been other pockets of slavery throughout this world, but Source is bringing attention to specifically here. And I'm getting a strong Mississippi as well, those kind of southern states. But I don't know, Mississippi is standing out to me. So they have to make it right. They have to make it right. Or America won't be right, because the energy field, this energy has to have a place to go. Every being, person that was slayed, the end of the age, all of the energy, right? Because we contract to expand. The universe has to expand. So that means we have to open this pocket up, this stain on our history. We got to open it up, and we got to heal it. We got to heal it. We got to repair in order to truly let the energy expand. So it doesn't become, so you don't carry it forward to the new age.